Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Going to meet up with the guys today. Modern Red Hemi. I think we got Hemi Muscle, Grizzly Marty, Wide Body Mopar Mike, and maybe a couple other people may show up. But I'm gonna go meet up with the guys, kick it with them for about an hour or so, and you know, see what we get into. But guys, I'll cut it back on when we get there. Y'all see it? Mopar Mike, he's here.
I'll tell you, you can feel it in your chest all the way back here.
Grizzly Marty, Hemi Muscle, Modern Red Hemi. Even got the security guy over there. But yo, we here, y'all. It's cold. We out here trying to get this content for y'all. Everybody's here.
I know he can be out next time. Yeah, we got that. And Hellcat TV. Oh, this thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, you folks with the freaking Teslas with ludicrous mode, you ain't got shit on this guy. You ain't got nothing on this guy.
Oh, Triple H on that thing.
My God, this thing sounding good, man. Vicious.
Y'all remember seeing
And then some.
I can't wait to race and start this season, man.
Oh, you can't wait? You can't wait?
Yeah.
I'll make sure you don't buy mods twice.
$100 bill.
What's going on, man?
What's going on?
What's going on with you, bro?
It's all like the same. It is one of those things where
Mike
some
got
people
this
go down
thing
a
set
rabbit
up.
hole and they'll do certain things.
And guess what? He's the mechanic.
It's harder to tell when
He ain't got to take his to a shop. He do everything himself.
See, everybody talking now.
When you learn how to be that good, that's when you really got it going on.
But then if you decide to go supercharged, now you gotta sell that engine.
All right, guys, we'll cut it back on. Hemi Muscle. Beautiful wide body scat pack.
Oh, yeah.
Fully loaded.
Okay,
Fully loaded. He got his joint fully loaded. Got his windows all tinted up. See, he got the radar cruise. Got all the goodies. Adaptive suspension. When you buy a scat pack, that's what you want. Got it all. Things looking good.
Y'all know that's a T-bone right there. You got the red eye.
What's up, y'all?
My guy goes subscribe to his channel.
And then the nitrous we have, he's actually trying to.
Y'all know my man, Modern Red Hemi.
It's basically right around.
Pro Charge 5.7. This thing get it done at the track. Y'all see it. Grizzly Marty. He done added the wicker bill on. That looks good. Deleted his emblems. I think he got something coming. It's cold today, guys, so our cars ain't clean. Y'all know the widow. We got her sitting there. But hey, we out here trying to get a little content. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we got Mopar Mike here. We're gonna go down his build today. He has a wide body scat pack. But man, he got so many custom parts on this thing. Yeah. Just wait till he gets started talking, y'all. Y'all hear him talking.
So, all right, I'm gonna flip the camera. Mike,
All right,
it's all yours. Go down.
we'll go down the list.
Go down the list.
It's Modern Red Hemi there.
I tore the motor down, did the Modern Muscle, 2618 drop-in pistons with the Manly rods, upgraded bearings on the rods. Did the MMX Max Effort supercharger cam. It's pretty close to their custom grind. Holly Sniper race intake manifold, nitrous outlets, 90mm universal kit. Can't tune the car on nitrous just yet due to transmission slipping.
We'll get to that.
I have a 4 fuel system. It's the L4 setup. So it's dual Walbro 525s with their controller, their regulator, their fuel filter, ATI 18% overdrive dampener, ZPF or ZPE grip tech pulley. I did one pulley down. We are at 10 pounds of boost, making 740 on pump gas, 800 on race gas, and probably close to 1,000 once the nitrous can be brought on. outside of that, nothing else really changed. Suspension's gonna have to change due to I do now have wheel hop at a 60-mile-an-hour roll. And yes, people are gonna say only 10 pounds, but remember that intake manifold is a big volume sucker. So with the stock intake manifold, it would have been about 13, 14 pounds. Anybody interested in a full build list, I can give you a full build list and breakdown. I do have some custom things. It's not completely custom. I will show how the nitrous is set up. It's going to change here soon. So the nitrous is actually on a Holley NOS controller. It's all done by RPM. Nitrous gauge is in here. Still on water meth for the street. Did add some carbon fiber to the car.
Carbon fiber. Got to get some looks with the speed.
Yeah, you got to have both.
Follow y'all on Instagram.
All right, so in the back, this is what it looks like in the back of a race car. The bottle was not in the car, of course, it's on the street. But everything's on fuse. Underneath, you can see the fuel setup, the cables. All my wiring, the way I do it, is always off a fuse block. Main line coming in, the fuse block and into the relays.
So that's nitrous right there?
No, that's water meth.
That's water meth?
That's just for the street.
Okay.
That's for when it's really hot outside and I want to keep detonation away on pump gas.
Okay.
When it's this cold outside, I don't need the water method.
Said you
got your water meth.
That stuff there is so
nitrous
deep,
set up.
you can feel that rubble in
Man,
your
he
chest.
got this thing nice.
Man, that thing's hitting it. And you got what, the Toyo triple R 8Rs, right?
For the street.
Yes, sir. R8.
For the track, gonna run a new setup from the F14s. Still gonna run the Mickey R's in the rear. We're gonna try to stay on 17s as long as we can without going to a 15-inch conversion. I think it can be done if I don't leave stupid hard. Now, future plans for the car, since the transmission doesn't like nitrous, we're probably gonna do a turbo 400 conversion.
Wow.
All right. So for you 8 HP 70 folks, so 5764, right about 800 is where Mike hit the max with that transmission. So if you're getting to the point where you're hitting 800 and some change rear wheel horsepower, you're probably going to start having to look.
Guys, he got this thing really set up. He built the motor.
Mike is going either a turbo 400.
He did all the work himself.
Or a Hellcat swap or something.
Can't wait.
Mike's laughing at me.
Guys, we can't wait to get to the track, see how she runs. Opening day, we'll be there. And we'll have the footage, y'all. We'll be letting you know what he do.
Hellbee. So,
But Hellbee is
vicious.
vicious.
Else we got?
That's it. That's really it. I mean, we're gonna try to see what it does this season. Hopefully the transmission will cooperate and at least make it halfway through the season.
Hold out for a little bit.
I'm not gonna race it as much as I did last year just because of the transmission part. So we are planning March 7th for the first shakedown pass, and then the Hemi shootout at the end of March, because I do have a little call out with Mr. Jim Red Eye Racing. It's an expedition race.
All right, the call outs are coming, folks, so stay tuned.
It's a fun call out. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to tip 7s this year for his new build. So it's literally going to probably watch a stock Scatpack wide body versus a stock Red Eye, but just at stupid faster passes. Hopefully, I'm hoping for a 9.9 pass, but if I don't get it, I'll probably be even more happy because I don't have a cage. So that's the other debacle. Is I want the best of both worlds, but I have to come to terms that it will be more of a race car than a street car. So anybody that's thinking about doing it, you're gonna have to really think hard about if that's what you want to do.
So yep, think hard. Even the route I'm going, you gotta think hard, because once you start digging that hole, you can't stop digging, man.
It is a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole.
You're just gonna keep right on going.
And that's the problem with going fast.
Yep.
You always want to go faster.
It's a drug addiction that's probably the most expensive drug addiction. Most definitely. I mean, your race fuels can cost you, even when you're running E85, it's gonna cost you because you're gonna get addicted. Yeah. And the pump E85 is just not gonna be for you because it's like 50 horsepower gain.
Right.
And it's so up and down that when you get into actual track racing, you'll want a fuel that's consistent with your build.
Right.
So it's between you and your tuner, and just remember you need to make a good relationship with your tuner. So
that is definitely key. Definitely.
If you guys don't vibe, the car will never become what you want it to be. Just like you and the car have to become one as well. So if you want to talk to it like it's a woman, go for it. There are back secrets, you know, of, having problems when you're building a car. So don't think that it's like a light switch on off.
Right. There it is. Wide body Mopar Mike on Instagram.
Yeah, make sure you follow him, y'all.
Let's go for a quick ride, man. Is that good?
Yeah. I'm gonna take Don for a quick ride.
If you guys want to sit in the car, feel free.
We're getting our first ride in Hellbee, y'all. Mopar Mike, the modern red Hemi. She sounded vicious.
Let me change this real quick. Just mount it up here. Yeah. Take a ride in Hellbee. See what this bad boy can do. Safely, that is.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all, we are in Mexico also. It's a little cold down here today, but we are here.
I never knew it got this cold in Mexico.
I know.
Oh, boy. Man. Woo.
Right. You'll know you'll have a weird sound, and sometimes it sucks because you just got done.
That's exactly what mine
roll
does.
racing somebody and you win, but yet you're pulling over because yours is in limp mode. Yeah.
That's exactly. Mine will blink. Sometimes it really depends how long I'm in it. It'll get up into that top end. It'll blink, and if I get out of it, it'll be fine. If I keep in it for a little while,
yep,
and then get out of it, you can hear it. It's like, and if you pull over, turn it off, sit for a second, start it back up, and
clears it up.
Clears it up.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people that panic when that happens. You can still drive. Basically, it's just telling you, I don't like what's going on. Right. And it's going to protect yourself. Same back to the transmission part. But the 8-speed transmissions, the TCM is built into the valve body, so its fail safes are built in. So it's actually there to help save you. But if you tune it out, you kind of hurt yourself. Right. You go into uncharted territory.
Because I noticed that with Jay. So when I was NA, I could tell he took out the torque management because it was shifting much harder.
Yep.
And now I noticed when I went with the Pro Charger, he put that back in just to be safe. Enough room, man?
Yeah, I'm good.
Don't worry, he'll be.
You still have catalytic
He'll
converters
be in
on
the
it?
back seat in a minute.
No catalytic converters. It's fully catless. For people that need cats for emissions, they can actually do the green cats. They have proven that they
That's another one on the list.
It's probably one of the best, cheapest mods you can do. It is a pain to do when the engine and everything is in. And like I said, we did limp it. She didn't like it. It's an easy, effective mod. Basically, if you were to do a turbo 400, you wouldn't have a thermostat anyways. You would go with an aftermarket trans cooler with a fan, because the idea is to keep the trans as cold as possible. It's kind of like talking to some of the Cummins guys. They run their 68s so cold to keep from having slippage, because you want to guarantee fluid is everywhere in the transmission.
Right, right, absolutely.
So if you can, as one mod, I think everybody should do it, even when they're just cam only, because it'll save the transmission. You can get longer life out of the transmission. And again, that's Hellraiser Transmissions out of Florida that sells that. Nobody else sells that.
Yep. Mine does the exact same thing. So I'm not as worried. I really wasn't worried about it, but like everyone hits me up in the comments every time. I'm like,
So
got it, understand it, not worried.
what I have figured out is the PCM actually is overloading the fuel. So when you do a hard pull like that, it actually dumps way much fuel, and you let out and there's not enough air coming in. So it's trying to play catch up.
Right.
So that basically it's all the oxygen sensors telling the computer you're way too rich, because you will wind up with O2 codes even when the rear O2s are turned off. You can still get an over rich code. It is a pain in the ass, and the way you'll know that you ran rich is like that.
I gotta do that too.
Where
Mine don't do that sometimes.
she doesn't want to fully crank. She'll crank, but she doesn't fully want to start. I call it welcome to the big cam life. Blower cams, it all depends on your application. Like mine, everything came together very well, and a lot of it had to do with the intake manifold and the cam itself. Some people will just buy off-the-shelf parts and pray. I'm not an off-the-shelf parts and pray kind of person.
I will make sure stuff works.
I will do a shit ton of research, and I mean I do a lot of research. So again, if you got a question, hit me on IG, and I'll probably have the answer for you, because I've looked into it. And we do know, like Mike Stark that Don goes to, he's another guy that you can pick his brain, especially when it comes to the factory side of the car, like wiring and stuff like that. I pick his brain all the time. He's not gonna like me when it's time to do the Turbo 400, because I already told him, I'm like, Mike, you're gonna flash my PCM for me, because Turbo 400 requires you to make the car think it's a 6-speed manual trans.
Oh, okay.
And there's still a lot of unknown with that. What we mean by that is nobody's done it on 19s and up, so the CAN bus is a lot different on the computer.
quiet, man, listening,
Put you in the
sucking up the knowledge.
put you in the seat more than you thought it was going to, didn't it?
I mean, the torque is unreal. It's like, man, it hits.
It hits, and it's so like when I took my wife didn't go out in it until after I was fully dyno tuned. And I always say that I've given her like PTSD in life of all the crazy shit that I've done. First time out, I did put it in limp mode, and I actually spun the tires first, second, third. She didn't care about that. All she cared about was how sunk back in the seat she was, and then that we were in limp mode. And it was probably 2 days later that she actually came to me and she goes, that was way more than I actually thought the car was going to be like. Because when you take in, like when I say 10 pounds of boost and the horsepower numbers, people get hung up on the boost number more than the horsepower number. And she kept thinking, well, 10 pounds is nothing. You know, been in cars with 18 pounds.
Right.
And it was a few days later, she even admitted, she said, oh, this is like that one car that you had 19 pounds on, but it came in a lot sooner on this 10 pounds.
Right.
She's like, I don't know if I can ride in it anymore. Because she's worried that I'm going to want more and more even on the street. And then you factor in there's other people out here on the street that they don't care about our cars like we care about our cars. I know people online probably say that we're crazy, all this other stuff. Actually, believe it or not, we worry about everybody around us. I mean, you look at the value of our car, we're worried about that, but we're not. The car can be replaced. Not a big believer in, you know, going out here and showing off on the street to impress anybody.
Do something stupid. But I really, even at your power level, it's still a sinking in feeling, not a throwback feeling.
Right. It pulls you in, and literally, if we had the road to where we knew nobody was going to be around, at literally at 130 mile an hour, you feel like you're in a G-force situation where you can't even say what you want to say until the throttle's let off. It's a weird feeling to really describe. When you start taking people out, they start to notice it, and they're like, I had one where they said, you know what, that's too much. I thought I wanted that, but that's just too much.
Right.
You know what would have been good, Mike? If you had had a draggy and did a 60 to 130 before and a 60 to 130 afterwards.
Yeah, we did talk about that. My son kind of jumped in my ass about not buying a draggy.
Yeah, and they had them on sale. I got mine for what, 120 something?
So I think we're gonna wind up getting one, only because my son is like so hell bent on wanting to see what the 60 to 130 is.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
got
quick.
one in the car, but
I got mine in the car too.
I just haven't used it yet. I'm looking for that right spot where I can do a good 6130.
And that's the problem.
And do it safely.
It's hard because even when you think you found
Especially
a good road
around here.
even when you think you found a good road at nighttime, it's not. I don't know. I see these guys post these videos and they're passing cars on the shoulder, and I'm just not
I
a
ain't
big fan
doing
of
that.
Right.
You spend too much money, man, to even attempt.
You know, and that's the other part that gets me anymore is guys will spend all that money in the car and they drive it like it's a $500 hoopty,
Right.
with no care in the world, and then they wonder why the car community has such a bad name.
Right.
You know, I mean,
yeah, there was a guy did a video. I think he's in North Carolina. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but down there the Mopars have got such a bad rap. The cops are looking for Scatpacks and Hellcats.
You could be
they're looking to pull them over because
you could be an 80-year-old man who just bought your dream car and you drive it to the country store every Sunday. You're getting pulled over.
Right.
We see it all the time, even around here. But a lot of the cops, once they get to know your car, like my car, of course, not very many out here to look like it. Most of the cops, they want me to do all the crazy stuff. It makes me laugh. I'll be at the gas station. I can't pass one, so I'm always at a gas station. You'll catch them and they'll be like, "Hey man, rev it up," and they get excited.
That's one thing with the police, right? A lot of those guys are car guys too.
They are.
As long as you're respectful and not, you know, doing anything stupid.
They know that we're gonna go out here and do a hard hit, but they also know we're not gonna go out here and stay on it for miles. Because for one, doing it for miles is actually hard on your car, more than most people realize. Your engine temps will climb. even with the greatest cooling system, your engine temps will climb if you stay in it long enough. And you become more airborne. I mean, this car is lowered, and my front end picks up on a 0 to 60 to 100 roll. The front end is up. Now we've tried getting a roller so people can actually get an idea how much it comes up. It does come up a lot. Like I have a lot of understeer, and having track suspension, having understeer is a scary thing because the tires aren't planted as well as you would like them to be.
Right.
Now, granted, Diablo did just release that new controller for us that had electronic suspension, so that is a bonus. But I still say it's kind of uncharted a little bit.
Right.
Only a few people have used it. I'll probably be one of them. I'm hoping to see if maybe it can dial the suspension back in a little bit better than what Chrysler has it tuned for. Granted, the wide bodies were tuned for road course, not straightaway. So that is another killer. This car was meant more for road course than straightaway, so we do push things a little bit more to the limit. Going down a straightaway, me and Alan already know we are a few tenths slower than our narrow body cars because of aerodynamics alone. But we can make up for it in the long run. We can put downforce.
Exactly. All right, folks. So we took a ride. We did a lot of chatting. Hopefully y'all get a lot of good information. Mike is a wealth of knowledge, so hit him up on Instagram if you got your questions. But if you're stopping in for the first time, hey, check out the channel. You like what's going on with the channel, do me those few things. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, shoot me a comment, and share this platform on your social media. I definitely appreciate it. So Mopar, wide body Mopar Mike, we got SRT Bone in the back. Modern Red Hemi, we're out of here. Adios.
Guys, we want to first of all thank Mopar Mike for giving us a ride in Hellbee. As you can feel, this thing is strong as hell.
It's crazy.
I mean, you wouldn't imagine. I had a Scatpack, couldn't imagine that it could be like this. But hey, we want to say thank you. If you got any questions,
hit me up.
Wide Body Mopar Mike on Instagram, follow him. He knows. He builds it. He does everything. So if you got a question, holla at him. Okay?
All right. Let me get out this crap, boy. Bro! You wanna go, bro? Wow! Let's go! Let's go, bro!
Oh, see, we got Modern Red Hemi and Mopar Mike. Wide Body Mopar Mike. Beautiful build, man. They run good. Can't wait to see it at the track this year. Alright, guys. Hey, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you like everything you see, hey, give me a thumbs up. And also shoot a comment if you got any questions. Alright, guys. Until next time.